Jonas and I made our way to the Kia booth here at the NAIAS, and there's something big happening here. What am I talking about? Well, it's this. It's the all-new Kia Telluride, and it's the biggest SUV Kia has ever made. The front of the Telluride, to me, is a bit hit and miss. Again, very subjective, because I like what Kia does with its design language. I like the tiger nose grille. I like how the new ones are really angular, and like the new Kia Soul Electric is also very futuristic. But this is very boxy and a bit old-fashioned. And I also think the headlamps are a bit too small. It doesn't seem that proportional to the rest of the size of the SUV. But that is what this car is trying to achieve. It is trying to be boxy. It is trying to be a little bit old-fashioned. It's just trying to be big and brash. But I think it's still quite mature and sophisticated to that aspect as well. The grille is not as large as some of the other American competitors. And it does have a lot of smooth flowing edges and not so many sharp, jagged edges either. So overall, again, it's a bit of a mixed response from my side. Telluride sits on the same platform as the Hyundai Palisade, so that means it's an 8-seater, 3-row configuration, so it's pretty long. The wheels are nice and big. They are 20 inches as we go along the side. A very simple, singular design line which goes very much flat from the front to the back. It's just very big, very tall, almost vertical on this side, which means there's a lot of interior space because of these tall doors and these tall windows let in a lot of light. But what do you guys think? Does it seem different enough? Does it seem unique enough? I do like the fact that it also has the plastic cladding along the wheel arches, even though they're not squared off. It does have a pretty rough and rugged stance as compared to the Palisade, but yeah, I would say it's more similar to the VW Atlas. The back of the Telluride, actually, I like, because even though these tail lamps in this kind of hook, upside-down J shape might seem a bit quirky, I like that it's trying something new, and it also seems very Korean to me, or at least in line with some of the other Kia design. It doesn't seem as simple and safe and plain as the front. So that way it's nice. There's also this interesting round haunch in the middle of the tailgate, which again, I think it comes together. It's a lot more interesting and a lot more unique. The bottom is also pretty cool. I do like these quad tailpipes, and they are actual tailpipes. They're not just a cosmetic fake exhaust tips. Or sorry, it's just dual. There's no on the other side. But it still, I think, retains some of that sporty character, as well as being off-road, as well as being big. So a good combination overall. Alright, let's check inside. I do like this wood trim inlay. Pretty soft materials on the top. Soft here, and of course harder down there, which is fine. Harman Kardon, I love their systems, they're really good. And yeah, let's just hop inside. The inside of the Telluride, actually, I like. I do like the wood here. I think it always lifts the cabin when you have wood inside. I also like the wide touchscreen. Unfortunately, none of this turns on during the show. We'll have to wait till there's a press drive event where we can actually test all the systems out. But it seems very easy to use. Big, simple buttons and knobs where you need them, and of course a large display when you don't. I also like the center console. This is a very nice, soft, damped flap here for revealing the wireless charger for the phone, the USB ports, so on and so forth. And overall, build quality is generally pretty good. There are certain areas, however, like the fit and finish of this center console. There's a lot of play and flex, which is not really a big deal, but you know, when it's supposed to be a rugged off-road car, things like this should be a little bit better tied down. We'll have to see. Maybe this is perhaps a pre-series prototype of some sort. Being a Kia, this car is packed with features, such as the shade for the side windows. This also has the captain seat arrangement for the middle row, which means I have a bunch of options to, for example, recline the seat, slide it forward if I want to. So plenty of space, of course. A lot of headroom as well. I'm 5'8". There's also a nice large panoramic sunroof, so the rear passengers also have a lot of light. Tall windows on the side, cup holders. Interestingly, there are USB charger ports on the sides of the seat, which is really cool. I think it's a great idea because then you can plug in your phone and drop it down here in the beverage holder, for example, or keep it inside this pocket. If not, there's also a standard 12-volt power socket and a 115-volt plug socket. While we're at it, let's take a look at the third row of seats, of course. And for that, there's also a very cool single button which you press and the seat will automatically flip and slide forward. Let me just... There we go. Lift that seat up. So let's try to clamber in. Now's the moment of truth. There's a nice plastic step for me to use and a handle over there. And voila. Let me try to recline the back a little bit since it's too upright. There we go. That's a little bit better. It's a little bit more comfortable. Let's pull the seat this way. And yeah, actually it's not that bad. I have decent knee room. In fact, I can even slide my feet a little bit under the seat in front of me. Have a nice luxurious armrest. Another USB port over here, more beverage holders, a nice big cubby hole, a lot of places to put away all the junk that your kids are going to have back here. And actually these seats are not that bad. There's actually a third seat here. That's why, hence, the 8-seater. If you had, instead of captain seats, you had a full row, it would be 3 + 3 + 2. So because of that, you know, the seat is quite shallow, so you can see how far off my foot is from the base of the seat. You can also see how high off my thigh is from the base of the seat, but it's not as bad as, for example, the Ford Explorer. In fact, even the cabin design, the dashboard design, I think is much better than the Ford Explorer. And of course, four-wheel drive. So I hope Kia prices this car competitively. This interesting bulbous shape also means that on the inside, there's a lot more space for the in the luggage compartment. Even with the third row of seats up, there's plenty of room here for at least a couple suitcases. And because there's that little bit more space at the top of the hatch, it kind of liberates more volume. Similarly, if you get rid of the floor here, there's a little bit more space, as well as a spare tire down here, which I'm having a bit of difficulty to access, but of course, there's a spare tire down there, which is good. You also have some switches here to topple the seats, which, by the way, you can even recline in 2 different steps. So for a third row of seats, it's a pretty cool feature, see? So you have one step here, you can also pull it further back, and of course, you can just topple it all the way down. I'm here with James Bell in the Kia booth at the Detroit Auto Show. Hi, James. Thanks for being here.
Hey,
thanks for taking
pleasure.
time. You're the
I run all PR, corporate communications, and social media for this fine company.
fantastic, and a future celebrity, as we were just discussing.
You heard it here first.
Yes. So behind me, we have an all-new car from Kia.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, this has been a real passion, or I should say fun project. A lot of passion involved from the company on this. This is called the Telluride. This is our entry into the 7 or 8 passenger crossover space where much of the heat in the car industry is right now. Big sales happening there. So we're pretty excited to now have a Kia entry in this place. What I think is fun about it though is that we're really setting it up, especially with the marketing campaign, which you're going to see soon, like next month. Think about it for a second. There's a big event coming and maybe you'll see something there.
Okay.
That's really setting up to be a rugged people mover. You know, so many of the other vehicles, like the sister vehicle, the Hyundai Palisade, a lovely vehicle, but it's really being set up as kind of a family, soft roader, exactly. This is a hard roader. And it's got a lot of like your torque vectoring all-wheel drive, some real equipment in there that makes it much more than just a way to go up and down the street. Now we know that this what a lot of people buy these vehicles for is to take the kids. Yeah. But we're really positioning that this is an adventure machine, and so we're pretty excited about it. It matches the Kia spirit and personality as well.
So in terms of design, for example, what is it? Because I see that it looks quite different than Kias, especially Kias that we see back in Germany.
Yep.
And of course, even Kias here, like the Soul that you have, it's a little bit more different. It's a little bit more different than the Hyundai as well.
Yeah, I mean, every Kia is going to have what we call the Tiger Nose Grille.
Right.
That's the the marker that Peter Schreier really built for the company. So you've got that there, but you're right. Otherwise, it does become very different. What it was really modeled after was SUVs of old. The proper Jeep or Chevy Tahoe from the '80s. It was just boxy and muscular and purposeful. This is not trying to look modern. It's trying to look like it can really do stuff, and that's what we think matches the Kia personality very well as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because this front does look very American, does not really look Korean to me.
Big shiny teeth coming at you, as they often say about Americans. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
It's very bold.
Yeah, fantastic. So you were talking to me about, you said it has 4-wheel drive, torque vectoring.
Yep.
So of course it's still, I don't think it has locking differentials and stuff like that.
It can lock. Yeah, absolutely. It's got, I think, 6 different drive modes, snow, and then one of them is lock. So no, it's a proper all-wheel drive machine.
Fantastic. So what would be the kind of engines that are on offer? Are there any hybrids?
Only thing we're allowed to talk about now is it's a 6-cylinder, 291 horsepower, I believe. It uses Atkinson cycle technology, which is kind of interesting.
Variable compression.
Absolutely, yeah, very good. You're one of the few people that knows what that is.
I have an engineering degree.
Oh, well, I just read about it. It could maybe some would think need more power, but fuel efficiency is still very important, especially when you get into vehicles of this size. Made it to Kia's in-house 8-speed transmission. Even though it's boxy, worked real hard on the aerodynamics of it. Just little tweaks here and there to make it a little more slippery. So it's a nice balance between the brawn of 5,000 pounds. So it can be that real machine, but then still be nice to your wallet. Yeah, efficient, exactly.
And okay, let's move from the outside to a little bit on the inside, or rather under the hood or under the skin. So can you tell me a little bit about what kind of technology is you guys are working on? What's new in terms of maybe driver assistance systems?
This actually is, I think, one of the most advanced vehicles, and yeah, it is the most advanced vehicle in Kia's lineup right now when it comes to safety and getting into almost level 3 level of autonomous driving. Yeah, so lane departure warning, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise. One thing that's really neat is it has sensors in the back which are used for rear cross traffic. So if you're backing out of a parking spot, it'll let you know if a car is coming. What they're doing now is using those same sensors to keep this door locked. So if, say, your child is here and opening a door into the street, if the car senses there's anything coming, it will keep the door locked until the threat passes. So that's pretty cool.
Fantastic. Maybe we can hop inside and.
Yeah, sure. You want me to go, or
you can go in the driver's seat.
Very good.
Jonas, I'll let you in the back.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the things that we talked about in the press conference was the fact that the first thing you notice when you climb in are these grab handles. And again, we really wanted to convey that this is a comfortable vehicle, very civilized, but then has proper chops. We're also worked very, very hard on quietness. You know, one of the things that's so interesting about EVs especially is that because they're so quiet, people often arrive at their destination more relaxed. A quiet vehicle is luxurious in that way. It delivers something that maybe a lot of people don't understand. We worked, now obviously this is not electric, but we worked really hard, dual pane glass on the sides and here on the front, really tuned it to really keep it a nice, quiet, comfortable environment. And one of the things that Kia is really proud of is our interior work. I mean, you see it's classic, it's simple, it's not overly technical, but yet very easy to use. And interestingly enough, Kia does very, very well in J.D. Power analysis here in the States. And when we get the reports back from J.D. Power, we see it's often because of our simple interiors that are nice to look at, so you feel comfortable with it, but then also very easy to use. Nothing is not complex for the sake of being complex.
Absolutely. And a nice big floating screen as well. Does this come as standard or is it an option?
Yep. Yeah, everything you see on here pretty much is standard. In fact, there's not even a cloth interior option. We really wanted to set this vehicle, give it that Kia value story. And we haven't announced pricing yet, but I think it's going to be really surprising. It's going to be much, much less than people would expect to pay for a vehicle of this nature.
Fantastic. So what would you say are the biggest competitors in the market right now for the Telluride? And apart from maybe a pricing point and the equipment, which I think Kia and Hyundai are always known for, that you get a lot of features for your money. What are your USPs that because it's a brand new car? Let's face it, it's a pretty competitive market.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, that's what I said at the beginning. We're excited to be in this competitive market because we think we've got something compelling here. Main competitors would probably be things like the Toyota Highlander, Honda Pilot, because the current SUV, our Sorento, is just a notch below most of the competition from a size and cargo perspective. Right. It's just a little easier to drive, just a little smaller. This is just a notch above those. Probably one of the main competitors that's doing very well in the U.S. market right now is the new Volkswagen Atlas, and we think this is going to go play against that very, very well, as well as the Subaru Ascent. We think it's really matches very well for people. Certain people in the States are going to be running off to Chevy, Ford. That's just how they want to do it. But for those that are willing to try something different, like Subaru, like Volkswagen, we think we're very compelling in that space.
Fantastic. And just one more thing before I let you go. Sure. I did have a chance to drive and test the Kia e-Niro very recently. Oh, good. And I really like that car. I really like that, as an electric car, it's very usable, it's very practical, and of course Kia's industry-leading reliability and its warranties there. And so right now this does not have a hybrid. No. So what are the plans for the future in terms of electrifying this platform and any other derivatives or models that we can see either in the Hyundai Kia family from this platform?
I believe we announced last year that by the year 2022 we'll have 10 new electrified vehicles in the lineup. I'm not at the liberty to tell you which ones where and how, but Kia is very, very, as the Hyundai Group is very committed to electrification for reasons other than just efficiency. As I said, quietness of an EV or of a hybrid is an attractive thing. People who own them can appreciate that. And so, we're going to be having electrified versions of just about everything in the lineup over due time. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much, James. Hey, it was a pleasure.
No. Talking about new cars is my favorite thing to do. Sounds like it's yours too.
Mine too.
Great.
Kia certainly has a great product with the new Telluride, but what remains to be seen, at least from my point of view, is how different it is, how it can differentiate itself in this very almost saturated market. But it all comes down to, I think, their pricing. I think Kia should really focus on having a competitive price, and then we could probably see a lot more of these cars on the road. What do you guys think?